Melody. Welcome to Myanmar Today Review, and this is where we visit the top stories for this week from Myanmar Today. Here are the reports from our reporters from this week. Dora will be giving us a look into the Chinese New Year Festival 2020 that happened in Yangon. Dora once again got the latest report on the current situation of coronavirus in Beijing, China. David Tanner will give us all the details on the World Robot Games Myanmar 2020. Zweman has the full story on the YRTA to perform payment card tests for running YBS buses as second pilot project. Year 9 and Pure Theory got all the details on the first ever school library management handbook to optimize school libraries. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news from this week. The newly accredited ambassador of Canada to the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, François Lafreniere, presented his letters of credence to the President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, President U Min, at the Credentials Hall of the Presidential Palace in Naypyidaw on Thursday. Present on the occasion were U Jo-tin, Union Minister for International Cooperation, and Director General U Min-thain of the Protocol Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. State Councillor Do Aung San Suu Kyi, in her capacity as chairperson of National Reconciliation and Peace Center, received a delegation from New Mon State Party led by its chairman, Nay Han Thar, at the NRPC in Naypyidaw on Thursday. The two sides first introduced each other, and the state councillor then discussed Myanmar's current need for peace, development, and prioritizing ethnic affairs after NMSP have signed the nationwide ceasefire agreement, and the need for cooperation for the upcoming session of the Union Peace Conference 21st Century Penglong to be successful in line with the decisions made at the 8th JICM meeting. Next, the NMSP chairman said they fully support the state councillor's aim to establish a federal union during the speech she made at the 4th anniversary of the signing of the NCA. Ethnic races are putting more trust on the state councillor, and the need to overcome the obstacles in the political dialogues that have yet to reach any agreements. After this, they discussed teaching the Mon language, regional development, and the living conditions for NMSP members and their families. That's all with the local news. This is Myanmar Today Review, broadcasting from Myanmar International Radio. On FM, make sure you catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. You can also download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices for your own convenience. And I believe it's time now for our first report. On January 24th, it was marked as the Chinese New Year 2020. According to the Chinese calendar, 2020 is the year of the rat. The Chinese New Year Festival 2020 was celebrated at Chinatown in Lada Township of Yangon. Dora has more.
Hello everyone, this is your reporter Daughter reporting you from MI Radio. January 24th is marked as the Chinese New Year 2020, which is called Red Year according to the Chinese calendar. The festival to celebrate this occasion, the Chinese New Year Festival 2020, is happening at Chinatown in Lada Township of Yangon on January 25th and 26th. The opening ceremony for Chinese New Year Festival 2020 kicked off in the morning of 25th January at the junction of Lamado Road and Mahapandula Road. Yangon Region Chief Minister U Min-thain and his wife, the Mayor of Yangon Uma Mangso, and the representative from Chinese Embassy Ms. Li Xiaoyan attended the opening ceremony. According to the agenda, the Yangon Region Chief Minister U Min-thain started with the opening speech. During the speech, the chief minister mentioned that the Chinese New Year festival is one of the city symbols of Yangon, and by celebrating this traditional Chinese festival in the city, we will have a lot of attentions from the foreign visitors who interest in Chinese culture. Wu Pyo-min-tae also mentioned that this is important to maintain the Chinatown culture and heritages, and as the Yangon city's custom, all the citizens with differences in ethnic or religion are lovingly and happily celebrating together for this year's Chinese traditional festival. After that, the representative from the Chinese embassy in Myanmar, Ms. Li Xiaoyan, gave the speech. The Spring Festival, which is known as Chinese New Year, is an unforgettable and most important celebration for Chinese people. The overseas Chinese people in Myanmar have been living in the country for a long time already, and they are celebrating this festival in every year. Recently, Chinese President Xi Jinping visited to Myanmar as his first country to visit in 2020, showed the profound relationship between China and Myanmar, Baopo relationship. The two countries signed 33 MOUs and agreements, which also include some of the ongoing BRI projects in Myanmar. Ms. Li Xiaoyan also mentioned that during the president's visit this time, BRI projects between China and Myanmar have upgraded to gold and silver road between the two countries. After the speeches, the opening ceremonies continue with the name board opening and the ribbon cutting ceremony led by the Yangon Region Chief Minister, the Mayor of Yangon Region, the embassy representatives, and the organizers of the festival. Also, to know more detail about organizing the event, MI Radio had an interview with Go Lin Mao, who is the youth participant of Fujian Chinese National Association and also a member of the organizing team. He mentioned that the main purpose of this festival is to introduce Myanmar people with Chinese culture, and also as an overseas Chinese person, he is happy since it is New Year and he would like to make Myanmar people as happy as himself. He also mentioned that Spring Festival, which is known as Chinese New Year, is a symbol of giving respect to the elders, and he wants to show that this is the same culture as the Myanmar people has. This year's Chinese New Year festival includes the food court, which has more than 40 famous restaurants and the game and entertainment places for the visitors to enjoy, and also with the free giveaway gift programs. As for the other entertainment, there will be music shows with famous artists in the country. 2020 Chinese New Year Festival is organized by Fujian Chinese National Association together with Myanmar China Chamber of Commerce, Yangon Yunnan Association, Myanmar Guangdong Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Chinese National Merit Association, and Shui Danlun Media Group. Okay, so that's all about the report now. This is your reporter daughter reporting you from MI Radio, and see you again.
That's the report on Chinese New Year Festival 2020. The coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan city of China has become viral, and there are also a lot of Myanmar students currently studying in China. So our MI Radio team contacted Wu Anglin, who is currently studying for PhD at Beijing University in Beijing. Dora has more on this topic.
Hello everyone, this is your reporter daughter reporting you from MI Radio. China and Myanmar, the two countries, are connected to each other geographically and also in economy, politics, and many other aspects. Right now, the outbreak of the novel coronavirus in Wuhan city of China has been widely spread to many other countries around the world. The spreading of virus inside China has become the most important topic, and there are also a lot of Myanmar students currently studying in China. So our MI Radio team contacted Wu Anglin, who is currently studying PhD at Beijing University in Beijing. So firstly, he briefed about the current situation in Beijing, which is the capital city of China.
Okay, ကျွန်တော်ဥအောင်လွင်မှာလက်ရှိပေကျင်းမြို့ပေဟန်နိပညာတက္ကသိုလ်မှာပါရဂူပွဲနဲ့တက်ရောက်နေပါတယ်ခင်ဗျ။ပေကျင်းမြို့ကတော့အဓိက coronavirus outbreak စပြန့်တဲ့ဝူဟန်နဲ့ကမိုင်ပေါင်း655မိုင်ဝေးတယ်။
Actually, Beijing is 655 miles away from Wuhan city, which is the virus outbreak area. There are about 100 people infected in Beijing, and one passed away on 26th of this month. The infection is not as severe as Wuhan, but the Chinese government announced level 1 emergency and trying to control the virus. Even the transportation, right now, all the transportation to Wuhan has been blocked. But inside Beijing city, there are still cars on the road and also subways are still active. Also in our campus, we can still go around and buy the stuff for groceries with a limited time. Also, there are announcements in time as what should we do for before going out or after coming back from outside.
He also mentioned that there are always announcements on time from the government and respective organizations, like not to eat seafood and meat which are not properly cooked or use high temperature to cook the meals. Also, there are announcements as try not to go outside as much as possible except in emergency cases. Currently, the Chinese government has responded to the outbreak by placing Wuhan and nearby cities under a de facto quarantine encompassing over 30 million people.
ကျောင်းတွေကတော့သူ့ရဲ့ rules and regulation တွေတော့ထုတ်ပြန်ထားတာရှိပါတယ်။ဥပမာပြန်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်
The universities have their own rules and regulations for the students who want to go back. They have to send the request letters to the respective professors or university dean to go back and have to go through the medical test before they go back. Most of the students go back and there are less people in the campus. Also, the Chinese students who came from other cities went back to their hometown.
အခုဆိုသွားလာလည်းနေတယ်။ရှင်သွားလာလည်းနေဆိုလူတွေလည်းသိမရှိဘူးခင်ဗျ။
Wang also mentioned that all of the tourist attraction places in China have shut down, including Great Wall or Tiananmen Square, and even though this is the national holiday for the Spring Festival, they cancelled all the big events to avoid the crowd and infection.
Right now, the coronavirus outbreak has spread to around the world. If we check the infection cases, those started relating from Wuhan. So I am worried about our country since we have direct transportation routes. So I think we should check the list of the people entered to the country starting from the time the outbreak happened in December and check their health conditions. Also, if the routes from Wuhan still opening, we should be really careful about inspecting the health conditions of the visitors came from the outbreak areas.
အဖြစ်မနေဝင်ခွင့်ပြုမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့လေတေချာစစ်ဆေးပြီးမှသာလျှင်ဝင်ဖို့ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒါလေးသတိပေးချင်ပါတယ်ဗျ။
The novel coronavirus, which is currently regarded as the global white disease, which already affected over 6,000 diagnosed cases and 132 deaths in China and over 70 diagnosed cases in abroad. Also, one of the Chinese government's efforts to control over the virus is the construction of Leishenchen Hospital with a construction area of 33,900 square meters, contain different departments including patient wards, consulting room, and sterilizing rooms. The hospitals will play a crucial role in the ongoing battle against the novel coronavirus, and according to the latest reports on Wednesday, the fundamental infrastructure is expected to be put into use by February 5th, and the whole Shenzhen hospital is set to be ready on February 3rd. Okay, so that's all about the report now. This is your reporter daughter reporting you from MI Radio, and see you again.
That's the report on the current situation of coronavirus in Beijing, China. World Robot Games Myanmar 2020, a friendly environment competition full with innovations and technology for children to young adults has been held at MICT Park Main Conference Hall on the 25th of January. For more about the competition, reporter David Tanner got all the details of it.
World Robot Game is a competition in which participants have to use robots which has been constructed by microcontroller boards. It is an international robot games competition with 10 different genres of games including sumo, rugby, and line tracing, etc. The competition is classified as junior, senior, and master level, but this time World Robot Game Myanmar, a national level robot competition with an age limitation from the age above 10. With that said, I have interviewed Uzo Winton, a representative of WRG Myanmar, regarding this competition.
Today's event is what we call World Robotic Games Myanmar 2020. It is a competition to promote and give youth a peace of mind for what robotics is and how we can learn it through fun ways. It is also an essential part of STEM education, which consists of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and how it is so much needed in our Myanmar education system. If we were to tell the background history where this World Robotics Games Myanmar 2020 is, we will have to start with the time in which we collaborated with the Clash of Robots team and has been doing smaller scale of competition since 2018 and 2019. And as we got notice from the WRC International Organization, we got an invitation to be a representative for WRC in Myanmar for the first time, and I'm really proud of it.
Uzo Winton also told MI Radio for why robotics is an essential part of our next generation's education system. Let's find out.
Robotics consists of pretty complicated systems put together, like coding, computing, hardware engineering, and electronic engineering. Because of the vagueness of the certain terms, researchers often don't speak about robots, but about robotics. Robotics is the study of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering, and computer science, and it's a broader way of looking at developments. An autonomous, self-driving car may or may not be a robot, depending on your interpretation of definitions, but robotics is definitely involved in its design process.
One of the spokesperson of WRG also told MI Radio for why he really wants to help make robotics a thing here in Myanmar.
Well, World Robot Games introduced several games for children until even young adults. There are different scales of games in order to allow students' creativity and innovation to come up with solutions, write programs, and compete in a very friendly environment. So this has been going on in some parts of participated by several countries, including the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, and we decided through this organization, Myanmar Computer Federation and the organizations of Myanmar, to represent Myanmar in the next World Robot Games. They have been invited last year in Thailand, and this year's robot competition in August will be held in Taiwan.
I have also asked him for how much do he expect from the youths of Myanmar. Let's hear it out.
It's not just WRG that I expect to thrive in Myanmar. I expect robotics as a way of learning in the field of STEM to thrive very well in Myanmar in the next few years. This first attempt of a competition here, and I see the very brilliant young men and women doing things even as young as 9 years old. So I would say there's a big promise and there's a big opportunity to tap into the young people and let them discover for themselves their own capabilities. For the young generation right now, we see a lot of problems around the world, even in your community, that seems to be so big. But if we help one another with the use of technology and also your inventive solutions, you can be the giver of solutions for the next generation, and that would be you, because some of the problems we as adults are having a hard time to solve right now.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on the World Robot Games Myanmar 2020. Yangon Region Transport Authority held its second press conference for 2020 in Yangon on last week, during which U La-aung, Joint Secretary of the YRTA, was quoted as saying that the YRTA is in the process of implementing a card system for making bus fare payment, as Yangon bus system plays a leading role in urban transport of Yangon. The YRTA has planned to perform payment card tests for running YBS buses as the second pilot project. Measures to turn into payment card system have been implemented since 2019 by laying down plans. Zueman reports.
Yangon Region Transport Authority held its second press conference for 2020 in Yangon on 22nd of January, during which U La-aung, Joint Secretary of YRTA, was quoted as saying that the YRTA is in the process of implementing a card system for making bus fare system, as Yangon bus system plays a leading role in urban transport of Yangon. The YRTA has planned to perform payment card tests for running YBS buses as the second pilot project. Measures to turn into payment card system have been implemented since 2019 by laying down plans. At the same time, 1,500 YBS buses were installed with e-ticket machine in batches. At the end of 2019, YRTA managed to install e-ticket machine in 1,480 buses, except that the ones need to be repaired. E-ticket machines tests and checks were launched, and causes of breakdown were taken into consideration in advance. A total of 1,313 machines were also checked. Keeping on machine checks, YRTA has planned to perform payment card tests for running YBS buses as the second pilot project. U La-aung, Joint Secretary of YRTA, said,
Card system is very easy to use. Payment is also so easy. We have many things to do to complete the whole system. I will later explain about that. Machine installation must have guarantee first, but we need to perform tests at a time when buses run. Now is the opportune time for me to present about the installation of e-ticket machines. For instance, we are to park the bus at the bus stop. The bus stop is designated a parking area. The bus must enter the designated parking area. The driver can stop before arrival to the bus stop. Therefore, these facts have to be taken into consideration. GPS is to capture at the bus stop. The driver must park the bus within the designated area. Payment card work within the parking time of the bus. Do payment card really work during parking time? We will have to perform tests practically.
the driver must follow the instructions and rules enforced by YRTA in a bid to implement payment card system. The driver must park the buses only in the designated parking area. Prior to the beginning of the second pilot project, the responsible persons from Asia Starma Company and YRTA held a private discussion on 22nd of January evening. U Ong-Yima, Managing Director of Yangon Region Transport Authority, also said,
regarding the installation of e-ticket machine for YBS card payment system, the responsible persons from Asia Starma Company and bus line companies presented reports on possibilities of breakdown of the e-ticket machines as a result of the various reasons. We will have to care with the use of e-ticket machines that can collect bus fares. We will review positive and negative effects of the e-ticket machines. As regards, prompt measures will have to be put in place and preventive measures will have to be taken. Instructions were given to Asia Starma Company and YBS bus line companies. We are constantly discussing how we should deal with the matters. The next point is the technical know-how. We have to perform several software tests in order to install e-ticket machines so that the whole payment system will run completely. We need not to do the task hastily. Several tasks have to be performed practically. We have discussed the use of payment card in maintenance of the e-ticket machines with Asia Stammer Company and YBS companies.
YBS payment card system trainings provided to YBS bus drivers, the opportunities for city taxi service providers, the arrival of responsible person of Yangon Region Taxi Drivers Union to YRTA office, the arrangement for the university students to get bus line were also discussed.
That's the report on YRTA to perform payment card tests for running YBS buses as second pilot project. And now, we move on to our last report for today. The School Library Management Handbook, jointly published by Myanmar Library Association and Asian Foundation Myanmar, would be the first ever tool to optimize school libraries with practical guidelines on library management. The handbook will be broadly distributed to school libraries across the country, and it will be made publicly available through online.
Among over 47,000 state schools in Myanmar, only 20,000 of them are equipped with own libraries, and there is no exact number currently being in operational. Starting from 2015, the Myanmar Library Association has initiated the pilot project on re-energizing school libraries to transform school libraries into vital learning space for both teachers and students. The Asian Foundation has supported the Myanmar Library Associations for the projects by improving both physical environment and information infrastructures. As a part of the project, the School Library Management Handbook was composed to provide practical guidelines for middle and high schools to optimize the effectiveness of libraries. The handbook, jointly published by Myanmar Library Associations and the Asian Foundation, would be the first ever tool to provide school libraries with practical guidelines on library management. The launching ceremony of School Library Management Handbook was held at Chatrian Royal Lake Hotel on Friday. The Deputy Director General of Basic Education Department under the Ministry of Education attended and then delivered the opening speech. And the organizers of the handbook, the country representatives from the Asian Foundation, and the officials from Myanmar Library Association briefed about the aims and contents described in the handbook. Dr. Madru Ano, country representative of the Asia Foundation Myanmar, said the importance of school libraries for educators, government, and even media organizations. Dr. Madru Ano, country representative, Asia Foundation Myanmar, said that
the Asia Foundation sees this need as a critical need for librarians and educators and decided to support for this important handbook to be publicly available in Myanmar. This School Library Management Handbook aims to provide the school librarians with practical guidelines on establishing successful school libraries, to advocate for the awareness of the importance of the school libraries with educators, government officials, media, and to redesign the school library to meet emerging 21st century needs.
the ceremony conducted a panel discussion on impact of school libraries on the achievements of students by the library experts and the librarians from government state schools. Dindin, the panelists on discussions and also the librarians of number 1 Basic Education High School Tamwe, said MIRadio on the usefulness of Handbook for librarians.
The
handbook would be very useful for us. We don't know how to systematically arrange the books and its collection in libraries and how to display the books with their respective classifications. We are not proficient enough in library management. Not every educator can attend the library management course, but now we can make reference to this handbook for our libraries. I believe this handbook could bring much usefulness for us.
The The handbook were broadly distributed to school libraries across the country and will be made publicly available through online. Mamiki Jomye, Program Manager of Asian Foundation Myanmar, told MI Radio about the distribution of handbook.
The
handbook will be made publicly available. Everyone can do free download the soft copy or handbook through the link provided by Asian Foundation Myanmar. We have published about 4,000 hard copy and have started distribution in Yangon. And the book will also the launch in Mandalay in mid-February. In comparison with the numbers of school libraries in Myanmar, the publications won't be sufficient yet, but the follow-up publications and others library projects will be initiated.
That's all with the news and reports on Myanmar Today Review. Tune in every Saturday on MITV at 8:30 p.m. for Myanmar Today Review. Until next time.